With any anime season, we have production issues. It's a common thing you see always alongside of a new anime season. Some series either gets delayed, some series, just straight up falters and just, flounders about because, it can't get the proper production it needs. There is a lot of case in points throughout the years and even in recent times of production issues constantly plaguing a certain product. And so with any anime season, you can expect maybe one or two series to potentially be affected. And in this case, Shikimori is potentially going to be facing a lot of production issues in the future, and let's kind of talk about that, because if you look at the first episode, if you've already watched the first episode, you could see that it looks fantastic. Like, straight up, just before I get into anything, the first episode of Shikimori looks great. It looks like a fantastic anime. The first episode is very colorful, very vibrant, it has a lot of life to it, the music is very catchy, the opening song is probably the best opening song of the season, like it's a certified banger. I mean, it is a straight up good first episode. And so when you look at this and find out that there was a news article that came out a few days prior to the release of the first episode, the unfortunate events really start to take shape. Apparently, the staff that is working on this series, Shikimori, that is, staffed by Doga Kobo, they are known for making countless moe blob anime, slice-of-life anime, romance anime, etc. And they're well known for making some very cutesy series that definitely resonate with some fans of anime. And apparently the staff, they are actually getting very, very sick. Apparently COVID-related, if you look at the article, and because of the overwhelming amount of people getting sick in Doga Kobo, it's causing them to have a lot of production problems. So it's very unfortunate to see overall. I feel bad for the animators, obviously. I feel bad for, just seeing that they're probably going to be getting overworked on top of being sick. There's just a lot of things to really consider, and it's just sad because, like, right out the gate with this series, with just looking at the beautiful first episode, we're already having production issues coming from left field. So it's sad to see, but with that out of the way, I guess let's talk about this first episode and if it is worth your time, because we can say that the series is going to really get affected and have a lot of problems, but we don't know until we actually see it. But probably, judging by normally how these stories go with production issues, there's probably going to be some issues in the future. But for now, like I said, let's talk about the first episode. So, Shikimori Episode 1 came out yesterday, and my oh my, it was definitely a treat to watch after that fantastic episode of Spy Family. Like, if you're one of those individuals that sat down yesterday and watched a lot of crazy good shows, Spy Family really just came in swinging. I mean, it was trending worldwide #1, and, it was trending pretty much for 2 days. It is definitely a series that had a lot of hype generated around it, and because of all that hype, there's a series that obviously could slide under the radar, and that is Shikimori. Now, some were obviously already aware of the series, such as myself, and I was looking forward to it, because I was told by a lot of people you should give this series a shot. I checked out the first chapter, which wasn't really much, and it was a good first chapter I read, and I was just like, seeing it adapted in anime form, the anime went, above and beyond the actual manga in terms of just the way it's showcased, which just shows the amount of passion and love that's being put in to Shikimori. But, what it actually is about this character, our main male character, that is already in a relationship, which is a huge deal, actually. When it comes to romance slice-of-life series that many of us probably have seen, you have it to where the couple, they have a crush on each other, and that's about it. And then maybe as the episodes progress towards the end of the first season or the first half, you have it to where they handhold and maybe kiss at the end. That's pretty much like how normal romance slice-of-life series go. That's just the typical. That is the cliche route it goes, and that's just what many of us have grown kind of used to. And so this series opens up very differently. The two characters are already in a relationship. They're boyfriend, girlfriend, and they just admit it to each other, and other people in the school know it, so it's not like they're hiding it. It kind of, circumvents the normal cliches and routes in this type of storytelling. And so automatically, it makes a lot of sense why people are very excited for Shikimori, because it's not a series that's going to be floundering around with, saying, oh, are they going to confess to each other? Oh, are they going to admit each other's feelings? Like, do they love each other? It's not going to be about that. The characters are already in a relationship, and now we're getting to see the growth of the relationship and how they can kind of stay together and progress their life together. That is what makes this opening sequence of this series so good. Is because we're not going to have to deal with that, melodrama and all of that is just, annoying sometimes. Obviously, a series can do it good. My Dress Up Darling is a good example from recent times, but it's still the point. It gets very old, gets very boring when you just see characters constantly having to go for the same beats and tunes of trying to get together, and, you don't really get that payoff at the end. And it takes a very long time for that to happen. So I am happy that Shikimori starts off the bat like that, because it lets you know what you're kind of getting into. Now, besides that obvious little twist to this series, there is something to mention. So, our main male character is someone that, he has bad luck. He's clumsy. You could call him a bit of a ditz. That is the best way to describe our main male character. And because of that, he is constantly potentially on the verge of getting injured. For instance, either by, getting potentially hit by trucks or, maybe something falling on top of his head, an eraser coming to smack him in the face. He's always in positions to where he's in danger. He's always about to get hurt. And that's where Shikimori comes in. She comes in and she has some form of, sixth sense from what we could see, and is able to protect our MC, and it's a very adorable relationship between the two, but it really kind of certifies the fact that, there's going to become a time if, our MC continues to get almost injured, Shikimori might also get injured and get really hurt because of that, and it really makes you wonder what would happen if that indeed happens. I want to assume, judging by how that was kind of one of the main subplots of the episode, that's probably going to happen. Eventually, it's going to happen, and Shikimori is probably going to get injured, and it's going to result in probably some drama between the two characters. But I do wonder why, our MC has so much bad luck, if it's just, like I said, it's just a gag, or if it's something else, like maybe some supernaturals thrown into this series, and also why Shikimori is somehow able to know every time he is about to get hurt without even looking. Is she just that good at protecting him, or is there more going on behind the scenes that, we're unaware of? But, it's a really good show. Besides that, I mean, it has a lot of cuteness and great little animation sequences. There's a lot of love put into it. And Doga Kobo, as a staff, the staff that works on these type of stories, they are really used to kind of, animating short comic manga, little 4-panel manga and all that's very short. They're really used to adapting stuff like that and kind of making the content really stretch out in a good way. I'm not talking about how, sometimes the One Piece anime can be. I'm talking about the way they can stretch content, but at the same time add more fluff to it. Is something that they have really gained a great skill of over the years with the many different anime they've worked on, and you can clearly see it being showcased throughout, this first episode of Shikimori. So yeah, overall, is it a series worth your time? Yes, I do think so. Okay, obviously, the series is not going to be for everyone. If you're someone that doesn't like, romance, slice of life, moe blob, etc., you're probably not going to be a big fan of this. But if you do, and let's say you like, like My Dress Up Darling, etc., you're probably going to like this series. It is a really good anime. And I mean, look, I know I love myself a good, a isekai or a fantasy story or an action series, but I am a huge sucker for romance. I love romance stories. I don't talk about them often, but I love romance stories because they're really, really nice to just watch and sit down and chill to. It's great. There's a lot of good content you can get from romance manga and anime, and this is one of those series that's definitely hooking me right off the bat that I want to continue down and see what happens within the story. So I guess let's just hope that production issues, kind of settle down. For instance, there isn't a lot of delays for this series, and I hope that the staff is going to be healthy and a-okay. My thoughts go out to them. But, I guess, yeah, that is Shikimori Episode 1. Tell me your thoughts, how you felt about the first episode if you've watched it. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Will you continue watching it? Will you drop the series? How do you feel about the twists and turns of it? How do you feel about the production issues? I'm very curious. Let me know in the comments below. I am very curious to see what you guys feel and think. But, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Leave me a like on this video if you, really enjoyed it. It does help out with the algorithm, and I would greatly appreciate it. If you have yet to subscribe, please subscribe. And if you've yet to hit that bell icon, please hit that bell icon down below. It does help out. But with that, guys, be safe, stay healthy, Chibi out.